Hi everyone, it's a pleasure to be with Gesù and to be able to share a bit of my life story. My name is Philip and I come from a small country, Macedonia. No, not the fruit salad, the real country, Macedonia. And I'm 25 years old and I'll be sharing a bit of my life story with you. I was born to a small family in the capital of Macedonia, and growing up everything was great. My parents had a lot of money, they had their own business, so everything I wanted I had, and I thought as long as they have all this money we'll be fine. But then my father started drinking more and more, and as he was drinking more and more, the problems in my family increased. So by the time I was 7 years old, the problems were so great that my parents decided to get a divorce. And I don't believe there is such a thing as a peaceful divorce, but my parents' divorce was particularly violent, and it was a real difficult time for me. I mean, overnight I lost everything I had. I lost both of my parents. I was left to live with my grandmother, and I lost all the hope that I had for the future. Everything changed overnight, and I found myself, even though I was just a kid, 7 years old, I found myself asking this: why? Why did this happen to me? I mean, what could I have done wrong to deserve all this? And I was asking the question, but I wasn't patient enough to get the right answer. So over time and through different circumstances and different inputs in my life, through different people and different influences, I got to the point where I thought I knew the answer. I was, by the time, 15 years old, and my answer was this: there is no God. And even if there is a God, He doesn't love me. Because if God existed and if He really loved me, He would have stopped all of that from happening. And I was so depressed, I was full of anger, I was full of bitterness. I hated God, I hated people, and I was just looking for ways to express this anger and this bitterness and this rage and this hopelessness, really. So I looked a lot different to what I look now. I had long hair, I had black nails, I was all dressed up in black, I had a black ring on every finger, I was drinking a lot, and I confessed that I worshiped the devil through my lifestyle and through my music. And I was going really on a downward path. I'm not sure I would be alive today if I continued on that path. But then something happened. I met a guy who was a friend of some of my friends, and we started talking about different things. And we came to the topic of religion, and then he started talking to me about Jesus, how He was alive, how He loved me, and how He could change my life. But I didn't believe in God, I didn't believe in Jesus. I actually blasphemed Him, I mocked Him, and he didn't manage to get far with me. The only thing he did was to leave me a Bible. I took the Bible, but I threw it on the shelf and forgot that I had it. After a few months from that moment, something again happened in my family that shook me to my very core. I was looking for answers, and all the alcohol, all the parties, all the music, all the philosophy, all the Satanism I was in was no longer enough. So I just looked at the Bible and I thought to myself, God, if you're real, if you're somewhere out there, Lord, when I open this book, you will do something. And my parents were not real Christians, so I didn't know where to read the Bible or what to read in the Bible. Nobody had ever taught me. So I just took the book and I opened it like this. And by God's grace in that moment, I believe I opened in the book of Psalms. It's a book of prayers and songs written by people centuries and centuries ago. And in the moment I started reading the Psalms, I started crying. I realized that the words that I was reading at that moment were the words that I always wanted to say. I was praying and crying with the Psalm. I was shouting to God, and I was saying, God, why do you punish me in your anger? Why do you discipline me in your wrath? My bones are wasting away. My soul is in anguish. Every night I go to bed crying. I'm so empty on the inside. And you, Lord, where are you? Why don't you come and help me? Save me because of your unfailing love. Save me because of your mercy. For 45 minutes, I was reading the same psalm over and over and over again. I was crying and wrestling with God. By the time when I finished and I closed this Bible, something real happened to me. I could feel that on the inside I was really changed. All that darkness that was inside of me was removed and expelled by this wonderful light. All that anger and the bitterness and the rage were now replaced by this feeling that I had never felt before. It was true supernatural love. And in that moment I realized that this Jesus that I blasphemed and mocked so many times, that He was real, that He died for me on the cross to wash my sins away, that He sacrificed Himself so that I wouldn't be suffering under the wrath of God. So I said, Jesus, come and change my life. If you're real, if you're so powerful that you have risen from the dead, come and change my life. And He did. Over the period of the next few months, my life changed radically. I couldn't recognize myself, people could not recognize me, and I was just stunned by what had happened with me. So I decided to, for the rest of my life, that I will dedicate to this message, to sharing this message with other young people, with other people of this world, that this Jesus is real, that He's alive, that He loves me, that He loves everyone, and that if He could change my life and if He could love me, then I'm sure He can love anyone, and I'm sure He can change everyone. So He took my life and took me on this amazing journey. I'm 25 and I've already been on 5 different continents to preach this message. I've been speaking with people from all kinds of backgrounds, with all kinds of religion, rich or poor, influential or normal people, and I've seen the same power that changed my life, the same truth that set me free, that can set everyone free. I've seen real change in people's lives all over the world. And I'm sure that if you open up your heart to this message, if you open up your heart to Jesus, He will come and He will do the same thing for you. So God bless you, and see you again soon.